You got charged how much for a scratch on your car rental in Spain? It took you how long to have your car repaired? Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. I've owned homes in Spain for 6 years now, and during that time I've owned a car for a few years, and I've also rented cars in Valencia and Alicante more times than I can count. In part one of lessons I learned on my latest trip to Spain, I'll be covering all of the vehicle lessons from this trip, which has been far more humbling than I'd like to admit. I'll talk about the process of using my car insurance company, how long it's taken me to get my car repaired, having a car towed, the best rental car companies and the worst, and I'll also cover recall notifications. Okay, let's jump in. After living in Spain on and off for 6 years, I thought I'd learned everything I needed to know, but this trip has been full of both difficult and positive experiences that I wasn't expecting, and I think my lessons may be able to help you down the road. I own a 1999 Honda CR-V. I have another video that goes over all the details of owning and maintaining a car in Spain, and you can see that right up here. So in late September, my friend asked if he could use my car while his was in the shop. He's like my brother. Of course he can use my car. Well, while he was about 3 hours away from home, the front passenger side of the car collapsed onto the tire. Thankfully, he was going slow at the time and wasn't hurt when this happened. Well, this is how I learned all about how the insurance process here works and the process of getting everything fixed. First of all, Abigate, my insurance company, was great. And I wish they would give me something to tell you that, but they don't have an affiliate program. My friend called them himself, and they first sent someone to collect the car, then paid for a taxi to take my friend on the 3-hour drive back home 2 days later on his travel date of preference. And then about a week after that, they arranged to have the car towed back to our town. By the time the car was coming back, I was already in Spain and had rented a car for the time being. My friend knows a mechanic and wanted him to work on the car. The mechanic told him to have it delivered to the shop he works at since he would need it up on a lift. On the morning that the car was to be dropped off at the shop, my friend called me. He said, "Emergency! Emergency! The shop is saying they won't take the car. Can you drive over there and explain that it's supposed to be delivered there?" So I get out of bed and drive to the shop. The car is gone. I go in to speak to the mechanics and they said that they weren't aware that the car was being delivered, even though my friend had arranged it with one of the mechanics. Then they were like, "It's Friday, and next week there is a holiday, and we just don't have room for it." And this is just something about living in Spain. There's this very relaxed culture, and it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just one of those things that means that sometimes you get to benefit from it because of the quality of life being so great, and sometimes you might be frustrated by it. No one is necessarily trying to earn your business. So my friend calls the insurance company to find out where the car is, and we are informed that it's been taken to the pound. I don't know what they call that here, but the insurance company says that it's fine and that they are able to hold it there for up to 3 days free of charge. So at this point, I'm over dealing with the other mechanic and decide to contact the mechanic I've used previously, who is just one street over from me. He's so nice and runs a huge shop that is always very busy. He tells me to have the car delivered at our convenience and that he's pretty sure of the problem and it should only take around a day to fix. So we have the car delivered on a Tuesday. A few days go by and I'm not thinking about it much. Then I get a text from him on Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon, just 30 minutes before his shop closes for the weekend. The text says that the entire shop will be going on vacation for 2 weeks. Welcome to Spain. Okay, so long story short, I'm now about to leave Spain after being here for 2 full months, and I just got the car back a couple of days ago. Now, what happened after he returned from vacation is that the part could not be ordered new, and he couldn't find a used one, so they had to send it to Valencia to be rebuilt. It was a real mess, but that's just life here. And I want to give you a tip. Getting frustrated here when you have to wait a long time for something is not worth the stress. There have been times where I've let situations like this get me bent out of shape. But if you roll with it, say thank you, and keep a smile on your face, you'll be a lot better off. Another thing I learned about cars here is the recall process. I just received a letter in the mail from the Minister of the Interior for Spain, and it was regarding a recall on my little old Honda CR-V. Similar to the US, they informed me that I could visit a Honda dealership of my choice to have my airbag replaced free of charge. So I'll be doing that when I come back in April. I use Google Translate to read all of these documents since I'm not fluent in Spanish. I'm not sure if you've used it before, but you can just hold your camera up to an item and it will translate it for you on the screen without even having to take a picture of it. It's like a live translation. It makes reading labels on food items or letters that come in the mail so much easier. Well, because I didn't have my own car for the entire 2 months, I've had 3 or 4 rental cars during my time here, and I just want to let you know a few notes about that. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I always book my car rentals on Skyscanner. You can check out my affiliate link in the description anytime you need to book a car or a flight. And car rentals here are so cheap during the off seasons, but I want to clue you in about some of the rental car companies. First of all, never use Firefly. I used them a few times without a problem, but one time a woman who worked there cheated me out of around $400. Their customer service was awful, and I will never ever use them again. I can't stand a thief. Anyway, on the flip side, definitely use Gold Car or Record Go. I've had really great experiences with them, including this trip. One that I would consider good but a little more risky is Click Rent. I had a pretty good experience with them, but I never take out extra insurance on my rental cars. I'd rather pay directly for damage if there is any. On this particular trip, when I returned the car, the guy asked me about the damage. I was like, damage? What damage? He showed me a scratch on the back of the car. I had filmed the entire car when I picked it up, so I pulled up the footage, but unfortunately the damage was new, which meant I was responsible. And honestly, I can't be upset about that. People in Spain are notorious for bumping other cars when parallel parking. They call it the Spanish kiss, and it looks like someone swiped the back fender of my car when they were parking. So this ended up costing me about €300. And you know what? I was happy to pay it. I've probably rented around 60 or 70 cars over the years, and this is only the second time I've had to pay for something. The first time was also in Spain when my car was broken into and I had to pay for a new window. That one also cost me €300. But if I had paid for insurance for each time I had rented a car, I would have spent thousands and thousands of dollars. Anyhow, that's just my preference. I asked the guy who worked at ClickRent what the worst damage was that he has seen to a car, or the most costly, and he said just once or twice a year they have cars returned that have had significant hail damage. That made me feel pretty good knowing that people aren't totaling cars on a regular basis. So this particular rental where I got charged was with ClickRent, and honestly, they didn't do anything wrong. However, I have definitely rented with other car companies who would not have charged me for that kind of small scratch where there wasn't even a dent. Therefore, I probably won't rent with them again, but it's not because they do bad business, they just aren't as forgiving as some other places. In next week's video, I'll be covering part 2 of lessons I learned on my latest trip to Spain, and those lessons will be about my home renovations. It's been a doozy. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. If nothing else, do say hello and then like this video and subscribe to join me every day, where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.